You meet her at a friend's wedding. She's wearing a red dress that could stop traffic, and when she laughs at something the DJ says, the entire room seems to lean in closer. You're not the smoothest guy at the reception, but somehow you end up talking to her by the bar. She tells you her name is Valentina, and within 5 minutes, she's roasting your tie, complimenting your shoes, and asking why you're drinking beer like a college freshman. You're hooked before the night even ends. 3 months later, you're officially dating. 6 months after that, you're wondering how you ever lived without her. A year in, you're down on one knee in front of her entire family at a backyard barbecue, sweating bullets while her dad watches you like a hawk, and her mom cries before you even finish the question. She says yes. The family erupts. You're getting married. What you don't realize yet is that you didn't just propose to Valentina. You proposed to her mother, her 3 sisters, her 2 brothers, her 4 aunts, her 6 cousins, and an uncle everyone calls Tio Loco who has a past nobody talks about in detail. The wedding isn't just a ceremony. It's a full-scale cultural immersion program you didn't sign up for, but are now legally obligated to complete. The engagement period is your first taste of what's coming. Valentina's mom starts calling you mijo within a week, which sounds sweet until you realize it comes with responsibilities. Suddenly, you're expected at every Sunday dinner. Not invited. Expected. Missing one is like skipping jury duty, except the judge is a 5'2" woman who guilt trips in 2 languages and remembers every slight from 1987. The dinners themselves are an endurance test. The food is incredible, but there's enough of it to cater a small village. Valentina's mom doesn't ask if you want more rice. She just appears behind you with a serving spoon the size of a shovel and dumps another mountain onto your plate while telling you that you look too skinny. You're 6'1" and weigh 190 pounds. You are not skinny, but according to her, you're wasting away. And she's made it her personal mission to fix that before the wedding photos. Then there's the language barrier. You took 2 years of high school Spanish and remember approximately 11 words. Valentina's grandmother speaks 0 English. 0. But she talks to you constantly, rattling off long stories in rapid-fire Spanish while gesturing wildly with her hands. You nod and smile like an idiot, catching maybe 1 word in every 15. Valentina translates sometimes, but other times she just lets you suffer, smirking from across the room while you try to figure out if Abuela is telling you about her garden or cursing out the mailman. You also learn very quickly that personal space is a suggestion, not a rule. Valentina's family greets you with hugs and kisses on the cheek every single time they see you. Every time. You could have just seen them 2 hours ago. Doesn't matter. Hug, kiss, full body contact. Your own family shakes hands at funerals. This is an adjustment. Her sisters adopt you immediately, which is both wonderful and terrifying. They treat you like a combination of a little brother and a science project. They ask invasive questions about your relationship, offer unsolicited advice about everything from your haircut to your career, and group text you memes at 2 in the morning. One of them adds you to the family WhatsApp group without asking. There are 47 people in it. It never stops buzzing. The brothers are different. They don't say much at first, just watch you carefully during those Sunday dinners, sizing you up like you're trying to join a biker gang. Then one day, the oldest one, Carlos, invites you to help him fix his truck. You don't know anything about trucks. You tell him this. He hands you a wrench anyway. 3 hours later, you're covered in grease. You've learned how to replace a fuel pump, and Carlos calls you hermano for the first time. You've been initiated. Wedding planning kicks off, and you realize very quickly that this isn't your wedding. This is Valentina's mom's wedding, and you're just a well-dressed participant. You thought you'd have input on things like the venue or the guest list. You were wrong. Valentina's mom has a binder. The binder has tabs. The tabs have sub-tabs. She's been planning this wedding since Valentina was 7. The guest list spirals out of control. You wanted something small, maybe 75 people. Valentina's mom laughed in your face. The current count is somewhere north of 300, and she's still adding names. You don't recognize half of them. She explains that they're second cousins, co-workers from 1998, and people from church who she hasn't spoken to in 6 years, but who will be offended if they're not invited. You stop arguing. The music becomes a battlefield. You suggest hiring a DJ who can play a mix of everything. Valentina's mom insists on a live band that specializes in cumbia, salsa, and rancheras. You don't even know what a ranchera is. She tells you that if there's no live band, it's not a real wedding. You hire the band. Food is non-negotiable. Valentina's mom is personally overseeing the catering, which means the menu includes tamales, empanadas, arroz con pollo, carne asada, 3 different types of salsa, and a dessert table that could trigger a sugar coma from across the room. You mention that maybe it's too much food. She looks at you like you just insulted her ancestors. Then there's the dress code situation. Valentina tells you that her family takes wedding attire very seriously. The women will show up looking like they're attending a gala at the Met. The men will be in suits sharper than anything you own. Your groomsmen better step up, or they'll look like schlubs next to her cousins. You send a panicked group text. As the wedding day approaches, you're starting to understand what you've actually signed up for. This isn't just about marrying Valentina. You're merging into an entire ecosystem, a loud, loving, overwhelming universe where everyone has an opinion, nobody keeps secrets, and the food never stops coming. But here's the thing you're slowly realizing. You're not losing anything. You're gaining something you didn't know you needed. The wedding day arrives like a hurricane made of flowers and tequila. You wake up at 5 in the morning because Valentina's tias have already taken over your apartment, cooking breakfast for what appears to be the entire wedding party. There are at least 20 people in your living room. You don't remember inviting them. They act like they own the place. Your groomsmen show up looking terrified. They're good guys, but they've never experienced anything like this. One of them whispers that he counted 4 different conversations happening simultaneously in the kitchen, all in Spanish, all at maximum volume. You tell him to buckle up. This is just the warm-up. At the church, Valentina's mom is everywhere at once, adjusting flowers, repositioning chairs, and giving orders to vendors in rapid-fire Spanish. She spots a crooked candle from 40 feet away and fixes it herself. Nothing escapes her. She's been training for this moment her entire life. The ceremony starts. Valentina walks down the aisle, and every single coherent thought evacuates your brain. She looks unreal. Her dress is this intricate masterpiece that probably cost more than your car, and she's crying before she even reaches you. You're crying too. Her dad, who you've been low-key terrified of for months, shakes your hand and pulls you into a hug that cracks 2 of your ribs. He whispers in your ear that you better take care of his daughter. It's not a threat. It's a promise you intend to keep. The vows happen in a blur. You somehow remember your lines. The priest, who's known Valentina since she was baptized, throws in some personal stories that make everyone laugh. When he pronounces you married, the entire church erupts. It's not polite clapping. It's full-blown cheering like you just won the Super Bowl. Then the reception starts, and all hell breaks loose in the best possible way. The live band isn't just good. They're phenomenal. The second they start playing, the dance floor becomes a war zone of movement. Valentina's family doesn't do that awkward shuffle most people call dancing. They actually dance. Her tias are spinning like they're 20 years old. Her uncles are doing moves you didn't think were physically possible for men their age. Valentina drags you onto the floor. You protest. You can't dance like this. She tells you to shut up and follow her lead. 3 songs later, you're drenched in sweat. Your tie is gone, and you're having the time of your life. Carlos and his brothers have formed a circle around you, clapping and yelling encouragement. You've never felt more alive. The food situation is exactly as overwhelming as promised. There are 3 separate serving stations. Guests are going back for 4ths. Valentina's mom walks around making sure everyone's plate is full, personally delivering extra tamales to your grandmother, who's having the time of her life. Your mom is in the corner with Valentina's aunts, laughing so hard she's crying. They've adopted her. She's one of them now. The toasts start around 9. You thought there'd be maybe 5. There are 17. Everyone has a story. Valentina's childhood friends tell embarrassing stories. Her cousins roast both of you mercilessly. Her dad gets up and can barely finish his speech because he's crying. Your best man goes completely off script and tells a story about the time you called him at 3 in the morning, terrified because you knew you were going to marry this girl and didn't know if you were good enough. The room goes silent. Then Valentina's mom stands up, walks over, and hugs you in front of 300 people. Midnight hits. You think the party's winding down? You're adorable. The band transitions into their second set. More people flood the dance floor. Your feet are killing you. Valentina kicks off her heels and keeps dancing. Her dress has a wine stain on it. Her makeup is smudged. She's never looked more beautiful. At 2 in the morning, you're sitting at a table with Carlos and his brothers, eating leftover carne asada straight from the serving tray. They're telling you stories about Valentina as a kid, how she used to boss everyone around, how she'd organize talent shows and force all the cousins to participate, how she's always been exactly like this. Fierce, loving, completely overwhelming. Carlos looks at you seriously. He says you did good today. You handled the chaos. You didn't freak out when things got loud. You danced even though you can't dance. You're family now. Actually family. He refills your drink. You stopped counting hours ago. Valentina finds you around 3. The party's finally dying down. Her mom is still dancing. Your mom is asleep in a chair, smiling. Valentina takes your hand and pulls you outside. The venue has a balcony overlooking the city. It's quiet for the first time all day. She asks if you're okay. If it was too much. You think about the question. You think about the chaos, the noise, the 300 people, the unsolicited advice, the overwhelming love. You pull her close. You tell her it was perfect, every single overwhelming second of it. She kisses you. Somewhere inside, the band starts their final song. You can hear her family singing along, loud and off-key and completely joyful. This is your life now. This beautiful, chaotic, overwhelming family that adopted you without asking permission. You wouldn't change a single thing. You're not just married to Valentina anymore. You're part of something bigger, louder, and infinitely more alive than anything you knew before. The quiet life you had is gone, replaced by Sunday dinners that never end, a WhatsApp group that never sleeps, and a family that will show up unannounced with enough food to feed an army. And somehow, you've never been happier,